A donut chart is similar to a pie chart. Donut charts are used to show the proportions of categorical data. The size of each piece represents the proportion of each category. Tableau does not have a donut chart as one of the available chart types, but we can get creative by building a donut chart from a pie chart. I'll drag category to rows, and let's bring sales to text. I will sort the sum of sales in a descending order, that way the category with the highest sale will be at the top. I will right click just above the sales value, sort descending. Next, I will use show me to change the text table to a pie. The next step is to create a duplicate copy of this pie by using a technique similar to a dual chart. Once we have a duplicate pie, we then overlay the pie with this current pie. Essentially what we want to do is this. I'm going to open a new sheet. I will drag category to columns, and let's bring sales to rows. I can duplicate this bar chart by creating a dual chart. All I need to do is drag sales to rows a second time, and I can either drag it from the data pane to drag sales from right here to rows, or I can just make a copy from the sales field on the rows shelf. I'll press down Control on my keyboard and then drag and drop. We get a dual chart, and this is what we need to do to the pie. Once the pie is duplicated, we then overlay the pies to create a donut pie. The challenge with duplicating this pie chart, as we did with the bar chart, is that we don't have sales field on rows shelf. This pie is created with the dimension and measure on the marks card. There are multiple ways to solve this problem, one of which is using the min 1 trick. Let's see what that looks like. I will create a calculated field by right-clicking on the data pane, create calculated field. The name of the calculated field will be 1, and all I need to do is pass a value of 1 inside of this calculated field. Now this is really just a placeholder. I'll click OK. Next, I will drag this calculated field we created to rows. I'll right-click and change the measure from sum to minimum, which is min. The pie is now created on an axis. We can now go ahead and duplicate this by pressing Ctrl on our keyboard and dragging min 1 to create another one. We now have a dual chart in the view, and Tableau created 3 marks card for us. The first marks card is all, and this is used to control or update both pies. The second marks card, min 1, is used for the pie at the very top, and which will be this as well. Then we have the third marks card, which is used to control the bottom pie, or the second pie on the rows shelf. I would like to increase the size of both pies, so I'll click on the all marks card, click on size, and I can just use this dial to increase the size of the pies. I will select the marks card for the second pie, and I will change it from a pie to a circle. And I would remove all the fields from the marks card. Now it's just a circle. I also want to reduce the size, so I'll click on size and just reduce the size of the circle. The next step is to overlay the circle onto the pie. On the rows shelf, I will right click the second min 1, which is the circle, and select dual axis. I will change the view from standard to entire view. We now have a donut chart. Now there's still a few things we need to do. First, I would like to increase the size of the first pie, which is the outer part of the donut. So I'm going to select min 1, the first one, and let's increase the size a little bit. And I'm going to increase the size of the inner one as well. Next, I will change the color from gray. I will just make it white, so we have a clear base. I will right click on the axis and uncheck show header. To remove the grid line across the center of our view, I'm just going to right click on the sheet itself, format, and let's go to lines, and under grid lines I would select none. And if we want to remove the border lines, we can do that as well by clicking on this icon, and under row divider we just select none, and we can do the same thing for column divider, just select none. Now we can close the format pane. Next, I will drag category to label, and we can drag sales to label as well. And I want the total sum of sales to be in the middle of the donut, so which will be on the second pie right here. So I'm going to select the second pie or circle, and let's drag sales to label. Now we can move around the legend. So if I select office supplies, I can just move it down slightly. We can move this as well. And this should be in the middle, so just move it to the middle. And furniture just slightly below. As mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, donut charts are best used to show proportions. So instead of showing the actual sales value for each category, we want to show a proportion or the proportions. In other words, we want to determine what proportion of the total sales was made by technology, what proportion was made by office supplies or furniture. And to do that, I would right click on sales label, quick table calculation, percent of total. So we get our percentage value, but it is in 3 decimal places. So I'm going to format that. So I'll right click again, and this time select format. Under numbers, I'm going to select percentage, and I'll just remove the 2 decimal places. And we can close this. So now we can say that 31% of the sales amount was made by office supplies, 36% by technology, and 32% by furniture. And if we want to change the total sum of sales to a currency, we can simply do that by, so I'm going to just right click. Let's go to format, and this time we're just going to select currency custom, and so now it's going to have a dollar currency sign, and we can remove the decimal places as well.